Dale Horvath only made it 2 seasons, despite him surviving all the way to the Hunter's arc in the comics, and it's a real shame, as I think Jeffrey DeMunn's portrayal is excellent. Sadly, due to him feeling AMC betrayed his longtime friend Frank Darabont, he decided to exit the show when Frank was fired. Thus, Dale was killed off prematurely in Season 2. However, there is a deleted scene included in the Season 2 Blu-ray and DVD release that gives us more of Dale. It also helps to explain his later philosophy and ethics that become prevalent during the Do We Kill or Release Randall arc. Before we talk about the deleted scene in question, like I always do, I want to set the scene. So this deleted scene would have taken place in Save the Last One, that's Season 2, Episode 3 of the series. In the original aired version, we see Dale on the roof of his RV, kissing this pack of cigarettes, possibly the same ones T-Dog was smoking earlier when they were chatting. Carol then joins him on the roof, saying that she cannot sleep. Dale tells her they can keep watch together. Later, we see them both on the roof once more, where Carol reassures Dale that Andrea will be fine, as she's with Daryl. Dale then asks Carol to keep watch. She refuses at first, not knowing how to use the rifle, so Dale heads out with his rifle, telling Carol to call out if she sees anything, because he won't be going that far. However, in the third part of this sequence, Dale is now back on the roof with Carol. Daryl and Andrea then return from their search for Sophia, coming up empty-handed once more, which upsets Carol and she storms off the RV's roof and into the RV, and Dale decides to give Andrea her gun back. And that's it. But there was a scene missing here. In between Dale leaving the RV and him returning to be on the roof, on watch with Carol, there is a scene that tells us a lot about Dale. So let's get in to the deleted scene in question. So Dale was truthful, probably didn't wander off too far, and found this car. But which car is it? It's like a villain reveal almost. It's the green Hyundai. Look at that. So yeah, obviously this car is pretty iconic in seasons 2, 3, and 4. Obviously after 4 we lose it, and we actually see how the car ended up on the highway in the Walking Dead web episode, The Oath. Smoking is not a very Dale thing, so kind of interesting to see. And again, it loops back to that first scene in the episode with him on the RV at night, where he is kissing that pack of cigarettes. So Dale tries the radio, but will he hear anything? Let's see.
Neither be ye idolaters, as most were, neither commit fornication, as so many did.
So, he hears a Christian broadcast. Now, we're unsure exactly what this guy's name is, if it's a pre-recorded message that's just on repeat, or if he's actually in a tower or studio recording this live, and it's being broadcasted to, everyone who can listen. But to be honest, I go with the former. I think it probably is just a pre-recorded message that's on repeat.
Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. You tolerated, you accepted.
So Daryl isn't exactly enjoying this broadcast. He seems pretty disgusted.
Lifestyles that affronted God, religions that affronted God, science instead of the Holy Kingdom.
So the broadcaster is saying that humans have chosen science over the church, essentially. So now, get ready for an edgy, atheist Dale roast.
Science, like that microphone you're speaking into, huh?
You pushed. You pushed. And guess what? God pushed back.
So this is almost like a Westboro Baptist Church type preacher. He's clearly blaming American society and tolerance of other religions, other sexualities, etc., for the reason why the apocalypse has now happened. God pushed back.
This is the Lord's plague, which will strike down all the nations. Their flesh will rot while they are still standing.
Real Dale face reaction there. He's not exactly happy with what he's hearing.
On that day, people will be stricken with great panic. They will seize each other and attack one another.
So I know this is voice acting, but the actor who plays the preacher has a pretty good performance. How he has these stumbles as he's reading it. It's very minor, but it's like he's reading a script, right? I don't know if that's intentional, but I just like that added detail.
Right on, Zechariah 14:12. You warned us. So breath entered them. They came to life and stood up on their feet.
As Dale continues to listen, he decides to finally light up that cigarette.
A vast army. Right on, Ezekiel 37:10. Get ready, soldier. You're getting drafted.
Just listening to the preacher's language as well, I just love the idea of blending, this religious language with this political language, being drafted, and then combining it to the apocalypse. I do think it's really well written, I like that. Also, what's the bet that Dale is an experienced smoker? Let's see.
Drafted into the Lord's army. Let the evil do the work. Let the sinners take the sinners. Truth hurts, my friend.
So, it's clear that Dale is not a smoker, or at the very least, has not smoked in a good time.
And I am here to hurt you.
Being fed up with that broadcast, Dale tries to change the radio to see if he can get any other broadcasts. And guess what he finds on another frequency?
You made your choices, and there's nothing left.
Yeah, this preacher is broadcasting on more than one frequency for all to hear. And Dale just does not put up with that. He turns that shit right off.
You can talk to us like that. Gloat? After everything we've been through? Douchebag.
Dale starts crashing out. He's not happy. He's not even talking to anyone. He's just talking to a radio that's off. Calling the guy a douchebag, wow. But he's got one more insult.
Pervert.
I just want to hear that one more time.
Pervert.
Okay, now 7 more times.
Pervert. 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 Pervert.
Now you'd think Dale is all out of things to say, but don't worry, he's got one more roast.
God spoke to me too. He said, Dale, if you ever run into that shit face on the radio, shove that mic up his ass for me. His will be done.
And that is the scene. Now, I will leave a link in the description, as I always do, to the full, unedited HG version of the scene with no commentary. It's Star Wars rocks coming in clutch yet again, guys. So why do I like this scene? Well, like I said before, it does show Dale's empathetic worldview. He's mad at this preacher because essentially the preacher is telling the listeners that their way of life caused this apocalypse, and he's gloating that he and his ilk were right about an upcoming apocalypse, albeit not exactly the exact kind described in the Bible. Dale, on the other hand, has a much more optimistic view of people. He believes in reform, rule of law, justice, and he thinks these values should be upheld even after the world has fallen. I also think the scene helps to explain why Dale was then motivated to change his mind and give Andrea her gun back. That preacher had a very glum view of people, and Dale knew that was wrong, so he decided to trust Andrea. In the aired version, though, he just sort of changes his mind on a whim. Despite all this, though, again, I get why it was cut. It doesn't really add much to the overall story, but it's a shame, as I do think it would have helped to reinforce how he thinks. And also, it's just funny to see edgy atheist Dale. It's worth it, just for that. Thank you to all channel members. We've got Baddie, Just Jordan, August Fisher, Austin Mann, Jesus, Logan Keeley, Charles, Gamer J, Tyler B, Ralph Farha, Gnostics212, Carl Grimes is my man, True Paranormal, Straight Outta Christ the YouTube TV show, Corey, Papillion, David Mulligan, Absolutely Curtains, Skullskill777, and someone. And then a huge shout out to my Walker Slayers, top tier members. We've got whatever comes to mind: ZFungi148, Kurt Turbo Clash G, Red Lemon Cola, Coda Cole, Seth Vella, Jenny Perez, and Dog Sauce. Cheers.
Pervert.